Let's begin with a brief update on COVID. Now, while Florida continues to lead the nation in hospitalizations and likely deaths, our numbers are actually getting better, though they still remain at a high level. Nearly 1,400 are hospitalized in Miami-Dade County, including around 91 patients at Mount Sinai. Most people admitted and dying are unvaccinated, which frankly means most of the suffering is not merely tragic, it's unnecessary. Our city has a testing and vaccination site right next to City Hall. But additionally, if you have a business and you want your employees vaccinated, we will send a unit to your business to vaccinate your staff and coworkers. Our city mandates employees be vaccinated or submit to regular testing. I urge private businesses to do the same. Now, let's talk about South Beach. In the wake of the tragic murder 2 weeks ago of Dustin Wakefield, many residents have reached out with questions about policing in this area, wondering what we have been doing and what more we can do. So this morning, our city manager, Alina Hudak, announced additional policing and related efforts that you should know about. Among the measures that we are implementing will be the following. First, effective immediately, an average of nearly 40 officers have been reassigned to supplement existing patrols on South Beach. These officers will work on high visibility patrols and complement our traffic enforcement teams, as well as code officers and homeless outreach teams to create the highest level of regular police presence this area has ever seen. Second, on all weekends through the end of this year, Miami-Dade County Police will supplement our city efforts with 10 additional county officers. Our city is a critical economic engine for the region, so it makes sense that they would pitch in. Thank you to Mayor Levine Cava and Director Ramirez for your support. Now, we will also be assigning additional code compliance and fire department personnel as part of a unified enforcement team. They will be addressing quality of life issues, sidewalk cafe and overcrowding issues, as well as life safety issues. Expect to see more park rangers in Loomis Park on weekends. Although they're not cops, they create a visible presence that can be very helpful in deterring misconduct. Now, we are also increasing our homeless outreach services, our sanitation efforts, and parking enforcement to address related quality of life issues. I'd like to thank Alina and our police chief, Rick Clements, for these most recent efforts and the work to be done. But I'd also like to take a moment to address policing and code enforcement in South Beach so that you have a sense of the challenges. These aren't the first enhancements of policing. Over the last few years and before, we have taken significant steps in response to the disorder that has become far too common. Among them, we have increased our police department size and technology, created requirements that late-night bars have off-duty cops, and formed a code enforcement unit just for this area. We have increased our surveillance cameras, deployed more license plate readers in our city and on our causeways, and we've also gone after short-term rentals with increased code officers and new regulations. And these efforts have had significant results. Now, regarding arrests, this year alone, we have arrested 3,154 people in South Beach, and 1,593 of these arrestees, more than half, were in just the tiny entertainment district, which includes Collins and Ocean Drive from 5th to 15th Street. Now, speeding cars are a challenge, and we have issued over 15,000 traffic citations. Year to date, we have seized 457 guns, many from cars we stopped through our license plate readers. We've increased our video surveillance so that now there are 870 camera views in our city. Now, to put this in comparison, our city arrests more people per capita than nearly any of the other 34 cities in Miami-Dade County. It's not easy given the crowds and unruliness. Every few days, I call a police officer who has been injured in the line of duty to thank him or her for their efforts. Few cities face these challenges or ask as much of their police. Now, with regard to code compliance, it's the same story. Since January in South Beach, our code department has issued a total of 2,606 violations for property maintenance, sanitation, graffiti, sidewalk cafe issues, and illegal short-term rentals and noise violations. And in the same period, issued over 500 violations for illegal boat charters, which I know have been a big problem in this area. Here is the point. This little area, what we have called an entertainment district, has become an incredible magnet for crime and disorder. And whatever it provides in revenue is just not worth the heartache. We will throw more police, more code officers at this challenge, but we must acknowledge that it's just not sustainable for our residents and our visitors. Despite the volume of arrests and code violations, people are still coming to buy drugs, to fight, and too often carrying guns. Now, it's true the horrific murder of Mr. Wakefield happened at 6:30 on a Tuesday evening, but most people don't really even hear about the incidents that happen at other times, like the stabbing earlier this week at around midnight, or the shootings that are too common in this area in the early morning hours. We cannot accept this as our normal. If you want a path of what to do, just look a few miles away. A little more than a decade ago, Coconut Grove was beset with a hard party late night crowd. Plenty of all-night bars and residents upset with crime and disorder and a general diminishment of quality of life. City leaders responded. They rolled back liquor hours, created a zoning code that incentivized commercial residential development in boutique offices, and enforced code violations. The pushback from their entertainment industry was precisely the same as you're hearing today in our city. Every argument the same. But the facts speak for themselves. Today, the Grove is a vibrant, mixed-use commercial and residential district. It still has restaurants and bars, but that is not all it has. By the way, Fort Lauderdale had the same challenges decades earlier and responded similarly, with similar results. So yes, we are going to continue to arrest people and cite businesses and seize guns and unfortunately hold vigils. And I'm sorry for sounding like a broken record for the last 3 years. But if we want to reverse this decade-long slide we are experiencing in this area of our city, we need to take dramatic action. Now, the good news is that we know the path, and our city has so many residents who care and are committed, and also who bring so much to the table, who want to be part of a renaissance and are prepared to step up and make sure this remains the paradise we expect it to be. It is fully within our power to fix this. As always, thanks for your patience, your calm, and your sacrifice. Have a restful Labor Day, and for our Jewish residents, Shana Tova. Happy New Year. Stay healthy and hopeful.